I'm PHred. It's Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's time for Lunch with Lynn, the lioness of networking. Today's topic is what's the most embarrassing thing you've done on Zoom? You can dial in with your comments and questions at 1-724-9-KPHred. That's 1-724-9-KFred. Or if you don't know how to translate those characters to numbers, it's 1-724-957-4733. That's 1-724-957-4733. And while Lynn is still out today, we're here, and Deanna Brakefield, the neurodivergent queen, take it away.
Well, thank you so much to all of our loyal people that have just, come every week to support Lynn. I am Deanna Brakefield, the stand-in. Many of you are familiar with me either from my own show on KFred or just from having been networking here for the last year. I'm so thankful that everyone came out today. Good news, great news, actually. Rick Lionhood is home. He has been home for a few days now. There's some adjustments going on. So Lynn is still very, very tired. So we're wishing her the best and telling her to get lots and lots of rest so that we can have her back next week. Because, I may be fun, but Lynn is the networking queen and we want our queen back, even if Fred titles me so as well. So that
Wait a
said,
second.
this is
Time
lunch.
out. Time out. I didn't title you as a networking queen.
No,
I titled you as a neurodivergent queen. So there's a difference there. Just want to
I
make sure
just
everyone
named
gets that.
queen, sir.
Although I guess you could be the neurodivergent networking queen. Maybe.
No, thank
Okay. We could do that.
No, thank
All right.
you.
Never
Okay,
mind.
so as Fred said, our question of the day is, what is the most embarrassing thing that you have done on Zoom? Now, Rob Homan is not here, so I don't think I have to remind people to keep that clean. But I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. So I'd like to come up to the first person on our speaking list today. We have Miss Ken with us again. I know she's waiting anxiously to get to meet Lynn finally. So the next 2 minutes are yours, ma'am.
Hi, thank you, Diana. So I'm Ken. I'm a virtual assistant. I'm from the Philippines, but I live right now in Cambodia. So with the question, I honestly cannot think one that I did, but my boyfriend did. I was in a networking event and I was in our bedroom, and then I was like answering a question, and he was kind of dreaming. So when I speak, he also replied to me, so everybody hears. So like he was like saying, "Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea," and then everybody hears. It's like, "Who was with you in that room?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like I think my boyfriend is dreaming, so he was answering back to me.
Oh, that's cute. I love that. So you've been with us a couple times now. How would you tell us a little bit more about the clients that you're looking to work with and what you bring to them?
Oh, yes. So, as a virtual assistant, I'm looking for coaches and small business owners that I can help with their admin, tech, and social media contents.
Okay, so what sort of social media content do you provide?
I provide graphics for coaches, for their coaches, and also like short form videos like reels for their Instagram and Facebook, and long form videos for their podcasts.
Excellent. Well, is there anywhere that people can find you if they're looking for you?
Oh, yes, you can email me at kentdichi@gmail.com. So it's KENTHDICHI@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, then we will move right along to our next guest for the day. We had the amazing Valerie Smith. Is she still with us? Yes, she's hiding in the corner. Miss Valerie, the next 2 minutes are yours.
Well, thank you very much, Deanna. It's good to be here. It's good to see you, and I'm enjoying getting to know people on here. Admittedly, I think this is the most embarrassing moment in my Zoom right now is I had my mind someplace else and I wasn't listening really intently. And I mean, talk about an opportune mistake. What is it you want me to say? I forgot what you asked, or I don't
What is
know.
the most embarrassing thing you've done on the Zoom call?
Well, I haven't passed gas or, I haven't done something that obtuse, but yeah, I can't think of anything. I've done some embarrassing things, lots of them. Like when I was trying to change a flat tire or change a tire in driver's ed class when I was a sophomore in high school and my pants came undone when I was crouched down, but that was long before Zoom.
Okay, so Miss Valerie, tell us just a little bit about what you do.
I'm a licensed financial professional and I help people build their money, organize it, grow it, build it. I do it through a order of operations system. I do educating, encouraging, exciting, and empowering. And 70% of Americans are dying in poverty. And it is oftentimes because they don't know what they're doing with their money and they never had any luxury of anyone teaching it to them. And so that's what I do. I give hope and guidance and support, and I set out to change lives. I think it's every bit as important as learning how to give CPR to a person who's in distress. Financial distress is very, very serious, and I make it my mission to touch as many people as I possibly can, particularly those people who don't reach out for the help. They don't think they qualify or that they measure up. And when in fact, anybody who's making money can also learn how to save some of it. Procrastination is the biggest wealth building enemy. And so when they procrastinate, they get really used to that and they continue doing it. Procrastination over a long period of time is expensive and very catastrophic. So I ease people's mind and say, it's okay to start now and you should start now.
Amazing. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Valerie has the kindest, sweetest heart. So if you are looking for somebody to lead you through this kind of thing, I would recommend reaching out to her because she's just such a heartfelt lady.
Oh, thank you.
So on to our first speaker of the day. He is just so diligent with keeping up with what is going on in the tech industry. We have our tech tip guru guy, Mr. Mark Anthony Arena. The next 5 are yours, sir.
Well, I haven't done anything embarrassing on Zoom, but I do worry, like, because I'll mutter to myself while I'm browsing the web. So I'm always worried, like, oh, am I muted? Because I'll sit there and browse the web during a Zoom. It's like, oh shoot, did I just say that? So that's really it. But my brother's girlfriend is a teacher, and during COVID, there were a lot of times when the kids are trying to learn, and she'll see or hear the parents walking around naked behind the kids or yelling at the kids, and a lot of crazy stuff out there, folks. I just got back from one of Gene Coon's events in Chicago, and let me tell you, there was nothing in the 3 days that was useless. Everything was purposeful and beneficial and educational and fun, and the food was awesome. And wow, just unbelievable. I thought I was going to go and get some strategy, but I ended up getting a lot of tactics too. Like, here are specific ways you can start making money from your talks and so on. Just want to throw that out there. All right. Mark Anthony Arena. I am the host of the Computer Exorcist podcast, which is at thecomputerexorcist.com. Elizabeth Gifford Maffei was a recent guest. Go check out the episode. It was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely just so peaceful and healing. So here's your tip for today. We talked last time about the support treadmill and anti-improvements. Well, in the words of Dr. Evil, things got weird. Here's the support treadmill. In the 90s, computer speeds would double every few years. Newer machines were faster and capable of more tasks, such as multimedia encyclopedias and 3D games, and like Doom that we were talking about before the show. However, around 2010, two things happened. Number one, processor speeds have largely plateaued. Over the past 10 years, they've improved only slightly. And number two, we've reached a saturation point. Most people just want to read websites and type documents and don't need anything else. Well, we can't have that now, can we? How do we get people to buy new ones? Well, let's start making websites that are more bloated and more demanding. If you notice, every 2 weeks, websites like Facebook and Chase get more and more and more ultra bloated. You can also make computers unupgradable and unrepairable, like the post 2019 Apple models. And also scare people into thinking the machines will become vulnerable on a certain date, right? If you get the pop-up saying Windows 10 is going to explode, don't worry about it. You've got another 5 years before you need to worry about it. So I call this the support treadmill, and next time we'll talk more about how it works. How's that?
Great. And you still have 2.5 minutes if you want to talk about the support treadmill.
Oh, all right, cool. Here's how it works. Websites are increasingly slower and more bloated, requiring new web browsers. Web browsers and other programs require you then upgrade your operating system. Eventually, your operating system is deemed out of support, like I just said, and the user attempts to update to a newer OS, and the newer OS is inevitably slower and more bloated and comes with a plethora of anti-features or refuses to work with older programs or accessories. So the client ends up buying a new computer. It's a beautiful domino effect, but in reality, all people want to do is do their work and be left alone. And see my tech tips about Mint or listen to my discussions about Mint to learn how you can protect yourself against that vicious cycle that fills up landfills.
And you are absolutely correct. We see this, many of us as business owners, I'm sure, see this expressed on a yearly basis where something becomes obsolete that we were promised would work forever.
Yep, none of it's necessary.
Thank you so much, Mark Anthony. As
Thanks.
always, amazing. All right, so next up, we have our guest from across the pond, Mr. Joel Fels. I'm going to butcher it. I'm not even going to try. Joel, the next 2 minutes are yours. Sometimes he is. There he is.
Well, I wasn't expecting to speak today, but thank you. I help people really understand the word and what it means to be neurodivergent. But I also just got back from, not just got back, a month ago I got back from Toro, from America. So I've forgotten the speech I was making there, but I haven't got that long. So I help promote neurodiversity in the creative spaces and really highlight the need for people like me.
Excellent. And so what is the most embarrassing thing you think you've done on Zoom?
Not hit the record button on my not hit the record button, or even more embarrassing than that, called out one of my my co-hosts on Zoom. We realized we were live at the same time, so we hadn't actually finished the conversation.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I think that's happened to most of us at least a time or two. Well, what you don't know about Joel is next week on Neurodivergent News Voices on PHred, he will have an episode dropping with me that we recorded a couple of months back, where you are going to get to really hear about him and what he does and the amazing work that he's doing for the neurodiverse community. So I'm looking forward to getting to share that with all of you. So Joel, that's your notice. Next week, that episode comes out.
Thank you. I wasn't even sure. I had to look twice, and then I heard the voice. I thought that's not Lynn.
Yes. So for those that are not aware, Lynn Lionhood's husband has been very, very sick. He had a stroke last week, but he is now home and doing much, much better. Lynn is just continuing to rest after the roller coaster of emotions and experiences that have been going on for her. But she should be back with us next week. At least that's what we're praying. So for those of you that are listening, if you would like to dial in with a question for any of our guests or a comment about anything that we are saying, you can dial in at 1-724-957-4733, and you can talk to the Lunch with Lynn crowd. If you are here with us in person and you have not dropped your contact information in the chat, go ahead and take a moment to do that. And I would also remind you that when it is your turn to speak, feel free to provide an email address, website, or phone number where they can reach you at. So next up, we have Miss Elizabeth Maffei. The next two are yours, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. I'm Elizabeth Gifford Maffei, and I am a trauma, drama, and karma disruptor. So trauma, whether it's a conversation you had with someone 10 minutes ago or your childhood or past lives, trauma gets implanted at the cellular level. So I help to uncover the root cause and help you to release and break behavioral patterns that are keeping you stuck in your life. And I work on the frequency level. I'm an intuitive life coach, Reiki master, channeler, and I pulled a card for everybody today. You may not know that I also do readings as needed, but it is the Knight of Ariel. I'll just show you that. But the message for everybody today is there is so much to accomplish, so make sure you make a detailed plan. So I'll leave that there with you. Thankfully, I'm very careful. I have never done, to my knowledge, anything embarrassing on Zoom. However, I was on a Zoom call once where unfortunately someone was getting ready to take a shower. So I'll just leave that where that is. I do work on creating personal strategies for individuals and couples on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms. I have lots of tools to help people to help themselves, because I don't want anyone coming back to me over and over and over again for the rest of their life. I want to empower them to make the best decisions for themselves. So if you have any questions or would just like to reach out, my number is 321-303-8649. Again, 321-303-8649. And I'm sending out great blessings to everyone. Thanks, Deanna.
Miss Elizabeth is one of the brave few that gives her phone number over the air. I love it. All right, so next up, we have the infamous, famous, I think would be the correct word here, Miss Lisa Heinzelman. She is a long-term member of this networking group, and I'm so pleased to see you. The next two are yours.
Yes, thank you. I'm Lisa Heinzelman with Illuminations Consulting, and as a business sales and leadership coach, I'm investing my time and energy in empowering individuals, teams, and organizations to be successful. So I work with service-based, relationship-based entrepreneurs and business owners who are passionate about what you do, great at your crafting your specialty, and oftentimes need to figure out all things business, marketing, and sales. So I support you in developing a strategy and competitive edge to think about the problems that you solve, the value that you bring, and why do business with you from your client's perspective rather than your industry jargon. And that sets a tone for you to stay consultative in your practice, to lead with the problems that you solve and the value that you bring, rather than turning transactional with your products and services and packages and programs and pricing that leaves way too much opportunity and dollars on the table. So let's plan time to chat. I'm Lisa Heinzelman with Illuminations Consulting, optimizing your success. I don't think I've done anything too embarrassing on Zoom. I do remember that we were in a networking event and there was somebody who did a bit of an activity with us at the beginning of it, and it provided the opportunity for us to stand up. And I kind of thought to myself, I wonder how everybody is dressed to be able to stand up in the spur of the moment, realizing it or not, whether that might be appropriate and how it is that we're coming to the table for that. I don't think anything bad happened at that time, but creates that sense of awareness of knowing where you are, what you're doing, and how you're coming to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. So thank you so much for sharing. Next up, we have another long-term member of this networking group who always has something interesting to say. Miss Jaya, the next 2 minutes are yours.
Okay. I'm Jaya Kasturi, a board certified internist for over 50 years, and I'm still going strong. Um, my interest in functional medicine grew because I was seeing a lot of patients who were morbidly obese. Diabetes was rampant, and I wanted to do something about 28 years ago and included some herbal products to make the patients reduce weight, which did not have any side effects. That's how my interest in natural products grew, and I started following more because it helped me too. And about 7 years ago, I came across this company which was totally different. It is not a supplement company. Out there are thousands of supplement company, but the supplements have not really made a big change in the lifespan or prevention of diseases. So, this one physician who discovered the presence of antioxidants in our cells way back in 1968, I had just become a doctor at that time. We did not know the word antioxidant. He discovered the presence of antioxidants in the cell and then went on to do 40 years of research to make products which can activate our genes and make them produce what they are normally supposed to do. Because we all lose that capacity of our cells to make normal work. After the age of 20, 30 years, we start aging. So aging phenomenon starts at the age of 20, if you want to know. So he brought out the only product in the world which is anti-aging, which makes your antioxidant level go up by 300%, especially glutathione. And this way we can prevent several uh, acute infection as well as chronic diseases, because oxidative stress is the main cause of aging and chronic diseases. The same way they brought out a liquid collagen to make our genes grow our own collagen. No other product exists in the world till now to grow our own collagen. Also, they recently brought out a natural agent to make our own GLP-1, which we normally make, but we lose that capacity. To make it at any age, we can have enough GLP-1 so that we don't suffer from obesity and diabetes. So this is all. Newsweek again has said this is one of the company in wellness field which has really brought things that can change the life of people, and no other company has been able to do. That's my story. Anybody wants to contact me, my phone number is 708-646-1098. And embarrassing, oh my God, I had witnessed a lot of embarrassing things on Zoom. One was our weekly training time. I saw one of the person uh, changing her entire bra, everything in front of the TV. I was completely shocked. So I had to call, because usually they record and put it. So I called the people. I said, okay, can you go and look at it, and please don't put it till you remove that. And it was true. Another time it happened that somebody known to me who is in my upper upline, he was, both husband and wife used to do a training thing for people every Monday morning. One Monday morning, I decided to tune in. I see just they're on, and the husband is telling the wife all kinds of nasty things before the meeting started. I was horrified. Yeah, I was just horrified. I felt so bad. So I immediately called them because I knew this guy in Florida. So I said, what are you doing? You are shouting at your wife and such bad words, you know. I said, this is awful. You shut it off and please don't put it anymore. So I have come across such embarrassing things. So I tell everybody, be very careful when you are doing the Zoom. Make sure that you are not saying or doing things which you are not supposed to do. And I've had a very good laugh at those people, so I don't want anybody to laugh at me for this.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so the next person up, I'm going to pick on her just a little bit because we are a little short on speakers today. So, Miss Dawn Telling-Houston, if you would, for the next 5 minutes for the coaching corner for us, that would be most appreciated, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much. I actually can, because what I was going to talk about today kind of fits right along with what I did for the coaching connection yesterday for my live. So I'll start over here. I'm Dawn Tellinghusen. I'm an independent Avon representative, proudly for 42 years. My anniversary month is April. And so, excuse my hoarse voice. Of course, I came back off of my cruise and someone shared something with me. So I'm fighting a little bit, but let me share with you what is the latest new item from K Beauty, which K Beauty is the leader in the Korean beauty that everyone wants to know about. And if you watch the coaching connection, you got a heads up on this. Look at this little kind of egg that's red. This is called Tur Mask Fit Cushion Foundation. And it is full coverage. It smooths and evens the skin tone, visibly blurring the pores and imperfections effortlessly for the look of airbrushed skin. It's hydrating. It also comes in 24 shades. It's a lightweight, non-cakey. It wears up to 72 hours. And it's got the, you probably can't see too well with my little picture, but I'll show what I can. Opening it up, this beautiful case, you can see that. And then this sponge that you slide your 2 fingers in, open up. And like I said, I used it yesterday on the coaching connection. And you just pat that a little bit and take it to your face. So very easy. But that is the latest in Avon. It is not in our books yet. It's only at our online store. So contact me 248-408-5833. That is my home phone. Please send me a text there. Don't leave me a message. I'm not always good about getting my messages off my phone. So 248-408-5833, and let me know that you want to try this. You will be amazed at what it does for your skin tone. So like I said, at the coaching connection yesterday, go watch that video. I posted a nice short video displaying applying that to my face. So if you have any questions about anything, Avon or K Beauty, just let me know. Thanks, Deanna.
Okay, Miss Dawn. So this should be good. What is the most embarrassing thing you have done on Zoom or seen?
Oh my goodness. I think what I have seen people do is not realize that it shows what your background is. If you don't have it, faded out, and you will see people walking behind you, and sometimes they're not dressed the best. I think other people have said that earlier, but I have actually seen that. And there should be some Zoom etiquette that everyone has to take before they do any Zoom calls.
I think that would be a good idea. That could be definitely something that we can institute. Thank you so much. So this is the point that I would like to remind everybody that Lynn does have a few specialty groups. You've heard us mention them. That's the Ultimate Coaching Connection, Mastering the Money Matrix. The Wellness Inspired Living group is absolutely amazing. And we also have the Business in a Bundle group. And so in each of these groups, she really fosters a shared community of people that want to give. They are giving knowledge, they are giving experiences and expertises freely and learning how to collaborate with one another. And it's absolutely amazing. So if you're interested in being a participant in one of these groups, even if you're in our listening audience, you should reach out to Lynn Lionhood. I think she would love to have a chat. She also sponsors I Can Talk Business Owners Book Club. We are right in the middle of John Maxwell's High Road Leadership, and we are having an absolute blast with that book every Friday at 11 a.m. Central. If you are on call with us, you can find that information in the chat. If you are in our audience, look for Lionheart Business Owners Book Club on Facebook, and we would love to have you. So next up, we have another one of our wonderful guests, Mr. Mark Bartosik. The next 2 minutes are yours, sir.
So I'd say one of the most embarrassing things is usually going talking, and then realizing on mute. It's like, crap. I feel like just about anyone has had some experience in that of being on mute and talking and everything. So diving into what I do, I always tell people is like that I'm the Energizer Bunny, or you can call me the energy guy, either which way. But Energizer Bunny going because of the fact I always talking about in a minute. So if you're not keeping up with what I'm saying, don't worry about it. I usually repeat it anyway at some point or another. I work with Ambit Energy to help people save and make money through their electric and gas bills. A thing I was listening to earlier talked about the power of part-time. So for people who own a business, for people who work a job and want to own a business, or for people who just have their schedule so packed they need more money or they need more time, but they can't figure out a way to do it, get in touch with me, because we work on truly the power of part-time. It is the in-between times. It is I tell people, I'm like, if you have enough time to, work out, or you have enough time to brush your teeth, you have enough time to do this business, because this business is all about part-time. It's building your spare time so that way you can get more free time. I work with people all around the country. We service 15 states if you're looking at being a customer. So if you don't like your electric or gas bill, again, call me. We have things. It's like, next time you're paying your electric or gas bill, think about me, give me a call. Maybe I can save you money on it, or someone you know of it. You can reach me at 773-370-2748, or on any social media at Mark of Success 21. But it truly is just with how everything is of, the world and everything. Life will always change up and down. Markets will go up and down, but building something consistent to be consistent, build something now to be there for you later. As I tell people, the best time to build a well is before you're thirsty. So whether you have business currently taking care of everything, or you are struggling, either which way, let's talk and see if we can't either save and or make you money through your electric and gas bills.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir. He said something that I was going to comment on, and now I'm having a short-term memory issue, and it's completely gone. So on to our next speaker, Mr. Chris. Did we lose Chris? We may have. That's okay. Mr. Don Murphy, the next 2 minutes are yours, sir.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Don Murphy with American Family Insurance. Hey, all of us either know someone or we've been personally have encountered an insurance disaster. When tragedy strikes in your life, you don't want to have to think about what's covered, what endorsement is missing. If I have a deductible that's way above my damage, you want to know that you've been consulted with correctly, and that you've partnered with the company that you can trust. So right now, you've seen a lot of things happening in the marketplace. AIG expert just talked about how the insurance industry losses, catastrophic losses, are going to eclipse $200 billion this year. A lot of that is due to what happened in LA with the fires, but even more, you're going to see more and more changes coming out that are going to be mandated. They're going to roll down across the country. And as they start to rebuild, you're going to feel even some of the impact from some of the larger carriers as they push rate back out. We are licensed in 26 different states. And we do have the capacity, and now with nearly 50 years of combined insurance experience, to make sure you're adequately protected, and that you're educated, not just about your personal home and auto, maybe your commercial business and or life insurance. For the Master and Money Matrix, my specialty is property and casualty. So Don Murphy, American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof. Thank you.
Okay, Don, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done on Zoom?
I don't know if I've done it, but right when 2020, I think COVID hit March 2020. So early on, my kids would just come downstairs because they were done with their e-learning, and they were just excited to see me. So one time they came, my two youngest came down, and they were just playing in the background. So people really didn't mind around that time. I think if that's still happening today, you probably need to think about it. But just young kids in the way, and getting acclimated to the change that had just hit us immediately in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us have a dancing naked or underclothed slash PJ'd kid in the background story, because I know I do. I've been on a call with one of you when my 3-year-old decided to dance through the room sans diaper. But I think the most embarrassing thing I've personally done is I thought that my video was off, and I was sitting here picking my teeth in a networking event. So yeah, I have actually done the silliness, but that's okay. So y'all heard me talk at the beginning. I'm Deanna Brakefield. I do neurodivergent news. I would really like to touch base very briefly on the topic that we'll be covering this Sunday. Neurodivergent relationships, specifically the difficulty in maintaining friendships. And because that's what networking is all about. It's about building those friendship spaces where you're coming at business as equals and partners and friends. At least that's my perspective on it. And so understanding the differences that can occur in communication when you're dealing with somebody that's neurodivergent, I mean, it can really make or break a relationship. I know all of you have noticed how hyper I am, and I'm very loud and energetic. And that is in large part due to my neurodivergence. And that can be very abrasive to some people. And I recognize that. But you guys that were around a year ago know that if I try to act like Lynn, I come off like this, and I have no confidence, and it's just really pitiful, and I can't stand not being me. So allowing space for the neurodivergence in your life to be able to express their authentic selves, they can start to bloom in ways for you that you didn't even know was possible. So that's my 2 minutes on that. Is everybody ready to get to the breakout rooms? Because we are at that point in this meeting. Yay? Awesome. So if you haven't dropped your contact, do that real quick. I'm going to open up the rooms and let you all have the next 7 minutes to yourselves. Hopefully they don't do anything embarrassing in those breakout rooms.
Actually, I'd say if they, hopefully we get video of it if they do, because we can make money. Never mind.
I mean, all right, let's see. We're seeing if Mark is going to go. If not, I have to move poor Joel so he's not in limbo by himself. I don't even know if I know how to do that.
Mark is like,
Right.
I got it. He's
Okay.
moved.
Perfect.
Mark looks like he's frozen in time there.
He does. Hey, it happens. He may be the tech guy, but the tech gremlins come for us all.
All right, so now we got him moved. It looks like he's gone. Oh, nope, there he's back. So now we'll move him to there.
Okay, so what is exciting going on at PHred this week, sir? Because I did not give you your 2 minutes shortly ago.
Well, we're going to be launching a new version of the front page, which has more information, less cluttered, and we're in process of building new menu systems. So it's going to be easier to read and listen and more info. And we just launched a podcast community on Tumblr. Found my old Tumblr account. It's still there. People still use it. So, hey, let us create a community there for those on Tumblr. Join us. Look for PHred, I think it is, something like that. Look for me, PHred, on Tumblr and join the group. We've started to relaunch the e-commerce site. So right now there's a couple of T-shirts, a couple of T-shirts up there, some AirPods. And if you don't want to sign up for the year-long contract of a show host, we did put a 3-month trial up there. Instead of the $149.95, I think it's $125.95 for 3 months. That is if you only want the 3-month contract. Now, mind you, if you sign up for the year-long contract, it's only $99.95 a month. So signing up for the year-long contract saves you quite a bit more cash. But for those who don't want to commit to a year-long contract, there's a price break at the 3-month contract. And you can find that in the e-commerce platform. What else we got?
Let me ask you a question. For those that might be wondering, we talk a lot about having a show on PHred and being a host for PHred. Is there an option for those that want their podcast hosted with us but don't want to be a radio show host?
So right now where we're at with that is anybody who wants to host their podcast with us, that's fine. The current rate's $99.95 a month, and that buys you podcast hosting, access to the community, everything else, and you do have the option. You don't have to take it for the broadcast time. That's one of those things of, in a sense, everybody wants a broadcast time, whether they're doing a live show or not, because literally that gets you more play time for your podcast throughout the station. Last night I was watching the system, and I think it was episode 9 of A Better World with James A. White and Barbara Wainwright. Had a nice, one of the largest crowds I've seen listening on their show. Now, they did it a while ago, but yet a whole bunch of people were listening to it last night. So if they had just gone podcast, you can find it in Pandora, things like that, but they would have missed a bunch of listeners had they just put it in a podcast. And what some of the info I've been given by what I'm going to say younger folks is that a lot of people seem to suffer from what I'm going to call podcast angst. There's so many podcasts out there, they don't know what to listen to. And by having internet radio, they can listen to a stream like that, and they can tune in, tune out, but there's different content, different voices, different shows, things like that, and it gives them an easier way to ease into something. In other words, it's kind of like going to a buffet and taste testing what you like and then going back for more. I had this actually confirmed to me last year when I was talking to, I can only assume she was Gen Z when I was actually at my doctor's office and was scheduling with the front desk woman my next appointment. And we got into it, and I mentioned something about having to produce a show that day. And we started talking about it. And she was like, "Whoa, I'll listen. I hate podcasts because I don't know what to listen to, but I do listen to the radio." And she pointed to her radio. It's like, so she was going to listen. Since then, according to news reports, I've learned 78% of Gen Z listen to radio. So this old technology is back in force, and basically I think it's because no one wants to wade through 8 billion podcasts to find what they like. So they'd rather pick up a radio station, listen to it, and then use that as a basis. So even if you just want to park your podcast with us, which is doable, you actually do want it to air out on the station because that'll pick you up listeners and subscribers you never expected to. That's a really long-winded answer.
No, I love it. It was perfect. It's just in time for me to close the breakout rooms and bring everybody back. It's almost like you timed that, Fred. I don't know. Maybe it's just your years of experience as a host.
No, my thing of needing more coffee, but the pot's empty. Fred's sad.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, my cup is looking pretty pitiful too, and my house husband hasn't returned yet to fill it, so.
So sad, so sad. But, you know, I don't need another pot of coffee. Sad. So.
I'm sorry, you said a phrase I didn't understand. You don't need another pot of coffee? No.
Oh, believe me, I've had enough. And
don't talk nonsense.
I got a half a gallon of iced tea ready to drink, so caffeine ain't going away. It's just the coffee.
I'm just going to say I mentioned to the universe that I needed more coffee, and now it has appeared.
Excellent. So, who was the guest on this, or what was the topic on this week's neurodivergent news?
So we will be talking about neurodivergence and friendships, and we will actually have the amazing Tess Booker with us this week, who is an alignment coach and neurodivergent herself. So I think that's just going to be a beautiful episode. I just hope that Stone doesn't make her cry.
Yeah, I could see that. So, one thing, kudos to you, because this Saturday is another episode of PHred Prime Live, and we go live at 11 a.m. Pacific. If anybody wants to be part of the Zoom studio audience, you can fill out the form on PHred, the PHred site on the PHred Prime Live page. But our topic this Saturday was brought by you, our own Deanna, and the topic is, do you remember?
Short-term memory.
What is digital addiction, and how do we balance the risk rewards of the information age? So that should be a really interesting topic this Saturday. So tune in, and we'll have as we do now, the 1-724-957-4733 or 724-9K-FRED phone number live on Saturday as it is today. Take it away.
All right. Did everybody get somebody great? I mean, y'all, you had to listen to me and Fred monologuing, but did everybody get somebody to talk to? Awesome. So we're ready to do that one more time. 7 minutes. Good luck, all of my friends. I hope you get somebody wonderful.
And away they start to disappear.
Now, see, I know we have to get our Lynn back soon because the crowd is getting quiet.
Yeah, Lynn does have the ability to amp people up, doesn't she?
Just a little bit.
I'm happy to hear.
I make them need a nap.
Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Who doesn't need one? Man, I'm old. But that's okay. So I was really happy to hear that, Lynn's husband's back home, and we wish her all our thoughts and prayers for his continued recovery and her quick return to us. That way I don't have to talk nearly as much.
Oh, is that something that I do different than she does? I make you run your mouth?
I don't know if you make me run my mouth or the fact that she just talks more than you or I do, and I think it's probably that one that is the bigger.
Okay,
Bigger
look,
portion
I
of the
warned
problem.
you the very first time that I subbed in for her. I don't know what happens during this segment. I'm in a breakout room.
Yeah, she and I just chat about stuff. She's always got something to say. Uh, uh, we've been working on PHred. We have been working on improving the information, and we're getting ready for a large upgrade, and making sure we can do the upgrade without shutting down the station, without making sure we can do the upgrade without a catastrophic failure is probably the best phrase. Has been taking a lot of effort because we're now 10 months into this, and we need to get the upgrade down so we can add in new functionality that we've been working on. And some of that new functionality you're about to see roll out on when we update the front page of the PHred website, which, like I said earlier, people will be able to see more. Show hosts will be able to put more info out there, and people just passing by can see more of what's going on or what the existing show's about. So we're really excited about that. It's just there's more upgrades coming, and we just got to get past this one point. So hopefully.
I can really hear the strain in your voice not to start sharing technical details.
Yeah, well, there's a whole rabbit hole that I know that the people that are listening will go, "Oh my God, he's doing tech. Let me alone. I want to go to sleep." And my
But
voice
no,
will
this is actually really exciting because it's going to make so much room for expansion at the station. We're going to be able to bring on not just new shows, but new content. I mean, we're going to have so many options that were a pain in the butt to accomplish previously.
Yeah. And I know that there are times when I frustrate people because I keep changing things, but it's one of those things of I know that what got built was
it was doable.
It was doable.
It did the job.
It did the job, but there was also, to use it correctly, there was a whole lot of technological expertise that was quite useful not to get things done in a timely manner. And the average show host...
Wasn't user-friendly.
It wasn't user-friendly, and there was a lot of background stuff or back-end stuff that the average person who wants to do a radio show podcast doesn't want to know how to do.
Correct. Absolutely.
And then there's the whole, even with the system we've got, some of the spots didn't dump out the what I would call a reasonable amount of information. And I will say, as we say, this is a AI enhanced station, and we have actually been using AI to write new software code to improve it for everybody. So not only is the AI present in music and audio and graphics, it's actually, to me, in a much more useful place of enhancing the software itself so it's more powerful for people to use. Then again,
absolutely.
I guess I've been using software to write more software for twice as long as Jamari's been alive.
I mean, yeah. But then again, our Jamari, he's a baby.
Yeah. He's a kid. And when I say somebody's a kid, that's not meant to be
oh no, he is absolutely the expert in what he does. Like, there's no doubt in his skill and knowledge base. He's just young.
Right. And see, I think it was last year, I had a enlightening incident. I was interviewing for a client. some of their customers. And one of the people I got to meet and interview was Grace Malloy. And Grace has had a profound impact on my life in that as Grace at that point in time was 100 years old. She's 102 now, so I guess it was 2 years ago. Anyways, I was walking her back to where we do the interview and chit-chatting with her, and I distinctly heard her call me in my head kid. And given that, as I realized that my daughter's 38th birthday was 3 days later, and given that Grace was 38 years older than me, I went, SOB, I am a kid compared to her. And that actually made me smile. And then, of course, it made me paranoid because I thought, I want to be 100 and call some 62-year-old kid, kid. So then I had to figure out, build a 38-year plan to make it there that far, and that's still working. And here they come back. So we killed off that 5 minutes.
7.
7, okay. We killed.
Okay, look. When the audience is a hair light, I let them hang out a little longer and I let them talk a little longer.
That's fine. That's fine. I will remind our listeners on the site, and I can see you there. You can chat live at PHred.com through the chat, or you can call in at 1-724-957-4733. That's 724-957-4733.
And I would like to remind everybody that if they would like to participate next week, they can find the sign up for the Zoom meeting at Zoom with Lynn. That's Zoom with Lynn, LYNN.com. We'd love to have you.
So a slightly different question or slightly different spin on our question today is, have you ever had a Dr. Johnny Fever moment? For those of old folks remember WKRP in Cincinnati, there was an episode where it was something to do with people started listening to Johnny and were dumping their garbage on City Hall in response to a garbage strike. And he all of a sudden realized that people were actually listening to him, and he froze on air. So has anybody ever had one of those moments, being on a podcast, being on a Zoom, something like that, where all of a sudden you realize people were actually listening to you, and you kind of freaked out and froze? No one's had it? Wow, I did several years ago during Pillars of Franchising, when I realized people were actually listening, and I had that moment where I went, holy crap, people are listening to me.
So now see, my brain has this thing called crisis mode. So about 6 months ago, I was in a networking event. Actually, it was this one. Lynn was running it. And I got in a breakout room with somebody. They parroted back to me something that I had told someone else that I knew they had recently had a conversation with. After the Zoom meeting was over, I had a complete come apart. I was shaking. I was excited. I was telling my husband, oh my gosh, people are talking about, I got excited about it.
I understand there's that whole, impact of, holy crap, people actually are listening to what I say. And I'm amazed that you're the only one on here that's ever had that happen to them. Or no one else wants to admit it.
Lynn, not Diana, I have a question.
I might have an answer.
Do you know one thing? All autism, ADHD, and all these neurodivergent cases do have genetically, we can identify the genes that are involved. Do you ever talk about that? Because many people think it is just the nutrition, which is not. That's what I want people to know, that we have identified the genes that are abnormal.
Well, the problem is that the genes that are involved are so complex and there are so many
Yes.
that they can't, not that there's anything wrong with us that needs curing, but they can't correct those genes in sequence because it would
No,
have
we cannot
unknowable.
correct it. We cannot correct it. But you know, people
Yes,
have
we have
wrong.
recognized that it is hereditary and genetic.
Yeah, because people have a wrong idea that, oh, processed food is the only thing causing this. Or,
Makes
oh,
it worse.
yeah. So, you know, some amount nutrition plays, but really speaking, these people have the problem. The same way with trans and the gays, lesbian. I mean, we have identified the genes. Why people are having so much problem accepting when we know there is genetic mutation? We
For the
know
most
these
part,
things.
it's not a matter of acceptance yet. It's a matter
No,
of awareness because the awareness is very
no,
small,
but
and that's why we
no,
speak.
but you know, the question is, people have to know the science has advanced a lot, and we can identify these things have been identified because I have read lot of genetic recent advances in the genes, and we have identified several mutations. Those things are known. In fact, you'll be surprised to know no two cancers are alike. It may be the same cancer in two different people, but
Mhm.
the mutation may be there are so many genes are involved that one cancer have mutations in several genes. The same cancer occurs in another person, mutation is in a different gene. And that's why the response to the treatment is different. So the biology is so different, and we have not yet recognized the science is advanced. We have got more knowledge now, and we have got to accept these things were there even before. At that time we did not know so much science. It has been there for centuries, but we did not know, and people didn't live long enough to get lot of cancers. But now we have much more knowledge. So I just wanted to tell you that we are very much advanced in science as far as neurodivergent diseases are concerned.
Yes, ma'am, and you are right. And thank you for pointing that out. That as I talk about all of these things and as other entrepreneurs bring up those topics, we are aware that there are massive advances going on. But so few people are aware of those advances that that is what we are striving to correct, is bringing us forward and no longer hiding out in the shadows and being quiet. Is that I'm reluctant to force you into this conversation, but is that a good way to sum it up, Joel?
What did you say?
He's unmuting.
Oh, yeah, I'm okay.
But is
I'm
that a good way to sum it up? Is we're trying to bring awareness to the conversations that need to be had?
Yeah, that's what I said, that these are the things. I mean, you need to bring out the scientific advancements, and there are also how nutrition can affect some of those genes. You can talk about it.
So
Yeah.
let's shift this conversation just a little bit because this is not neurodivergent news. This is Lunch with Lynn, the networking event. So let's shift the perspective on this a little bit. I know some of you have been in breakout rooms with Joel and myself, and those can be uncomfortable experiences, but we don't want to be guilty of masking ourselves. So, what can we do and what can y'all do you think, to make those conversations more comfortable?
Dana, I have dealt with you and your husband a lot. I never find anything very abnormal or unusual or anything.
Bless you.
So
Bless you.
I never felt, because it may be that I'm used to, I have seen people. So I never think that somebody is abnormal. No, it doesn't occur to me at all. So I find everything is as normal as possible. Maybe some people may think I'm abnormal, but that's a possibility that can happen to anybody. But really speaking, Nobody has a right to say that you are abnormal. Not at all. I've
I know
never.
that's not what we're saying. We're not abnormal because what we are is normal for us. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But we oftentimes have trouble reading social cues and gauging reactions to the conversations that we're having. So, what can we do? How can we be clearer? Or maybe what suggestions do y'all think y'all could do? Things you could ask, things you could say that could help make those conversations more comfortable. Anybody else?
I think
I can
people
chime
should just
in.
express themselves. They should tell you whatever they feel like so that you know what is the problem with them understanding you. Let
Don,
them ask questions.
Don, you were saying?
Yeah, I can chime in there, guys, because I have a family member. The thing that I've always, I think my superpower is that I can be friends and be comfortable with just about anybody. I don't care if it's religion, politics, neurodivergent, whatever, age. Um, and it comes by really just having an open mind, an open heart, and listening to folks. So a lot of times folks just want to be heard. When it comes to the case of like being neurodivergent, again, if you ask people open-ended questions, or if they have open-ended questions or go-to things on their, maybe even have some cue cards in front of themselves, that if they get stuck or they need something to get back to their, and that could be just anybody. That doesn't have to be someone that's dealing with neurodivergent. It could just be you get nervous. But I think when we approach any situation, group of people, or an individual person with an open mind, open heart, you're being objective. I think people tend to gravitate towards and that's the truth of why I've always done good in sales. I don't force stuff down people's throat. I listen, and then I back off when I need to back off, or maybe push a little bit more if I need to push. And there's some times where I have pushed and got somebody to do something that was right for them, and then it ends up being the right solution down the road. I could share countless stories of that, but it was because first I came to it with no judgment, and I listened. And I'll tell you this, guys, some of my best customers, some of my biggest customers in the past 18 years have come from just some relationships. It might have been somebody that just had a renter's policy, but they might have referred me to somebody else. But I treat every customer like they're my first. If not, then they may be my last. That's just how I approach life that same way, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's got her hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you for sharing that, Don. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you.
Yep.
I have a neurodivergent son, and I think to speak to your question, Deanna, is it's really, I don't feel it's the person who has ways to express themselves in a neurodivergent way, whatever that is. I don't do labels. I don't think it's up to someone to make other people comfortable. I think it's up to each of us as individuals to ask ourselves, why am I uncomfortable? Why am I having difficulty communicating? And I think it starts with communication. And if someone feels like someone is having challenges communicating or explaining, ask them, can I make the environment more comfortable for you? For example, let's just say you're doing a Zoom call, right? And you're playing music in the background, and you're one of those people that has to have music all the time playing, and maybe that frequency of the music feels sharp or uncomfortable or is distracting to the other person whom you're speaking with. And you know, if you're feeling anxiety, no matter who you are, you're feeling anxiety, just ask each other or speak up and say, could you do me a favor and just turn that music off? It helps me to be able to concentrate better. So we may not be aware of that, but when we speak up for ourselves, and whether you're neurodivergent or you or not, speak up for yourself and say, look, let's make the best comfortable environment we can. But if you are having difficulty communicating, ask the questions. And like Don said, then just step back and listen and hold the space for them. And, have that patience to do that back and forth. Sometimes it's just about not being on the same channel. And when you get on that same channel, it's much easier to discuss.
So I think that's a really good point that you bring up. And I would go in so far as to say that it doesn't just apply to the indie community, that it's to everyone. Because as business owners, how many times have you encountered someone where you can tell they're intimidated by you, or you feel intimidated by them for one reason or another? It's a very similar experience when you're coming at it with a communication difficulty.
Yeah, I love that. You're absolutely right. And that goes back to the statement of it's not our job to make someone else feel comfortable because we're not in control of how someone else feels. And you could be the sweetest, kindest, most loving person, and for whatever reason, someone else feels threatened by you. But and I work with a lot of people who are in that position where we find out what's threatening you. Where is that coming from? Where is that belief coming from? Where is that feeling coming from? And then we just reflect it on someone who might be a stranger or someone whom we've just met. So it's really not our job to make each other comfortable. It's our job to fully understand ourselves.
And I would agree that, sometimes it's just a comfort level. Because if you've listened to any of the episodes of Neurodivergent News Live, you'll hear my co-panelist Stone. He's an amazing clinician. He is indie. He works with indie. He's a therapist and counselor. He's great, but he's very clinical and he almost sounds cold on the show. Fred has said if he doesn't mind me quoting him, he's not a guy you would party with. And yet, in afters, it's like a 30-minute window of what we do after we've recorded the show. The first few weeks, he was absolutely that way. But he started to relax with me and my husband. And now he jokes and plays. He's never going to present that on air because that's not his role. But he can be a comfortable person if given the chance to relax. And I think that's true of any business owner, is having the opportunity to relax with the person you're communicating with. And welcome, Anita. She's a little late to the party, I know. I'm sorry you've missed the breakout rooms. We're actually in the Q&A now, but feel free to chime in. But anyway, as I was saying, I think that's very true, is just having a chance to relax with one another and put away the airs.
Yeah, I think when we learn to put our guard down with ourselves, meaning we have learned to fully trust ourselves, then when we put our own guard down, we don't have to have this persona, right? Say, for example, you do videos or, you put information out there. Sometimes we think we have to show a certain persona, we have to act or look a certain way. When you're doing that, you're not really truly aligning with who you are, and people see that. They understand the difference. They can feel authenticity. And so sometimes it is hard when, some people have been trained, you have to present yourself one way in business and another way personally. I think we're melding now, and we're coming to that age and that stage where we should just be ourselves, because if we're not ourselves in how we help others and who we are and what we do, it causes stress. It causes burnout. I mean, if you're paddling your feet underneath the water because you're putting on this persona, you're going to get burned out because it puts too much energy into being something or someone who you really aren't.
So now you're touching on a topic that a lot of business coaches touch on. And I know it's a huge topic in the ND community as well: masking, creating those personas and fake facades that hide who you are. And you're right. Even in marketing, we're coming to a place where we're telling people, I mean, you guys have been hearing me say it for over a year now, authenticity over polish, because people need to relate to you. And just like it implies, when you're over polished, it's like having a granite veneer that people can't get past.
Welcome, folks, to a brand new show on PHred Radio, the PHred News and Report. Sorry about that. Wrong button.
Deanna, we've been talking about it too, about being like coming off authentic more, and that I have a thought that it might be because of the previous generation had so much marketed to them of inauthenticity or polish at least, that our generation is now looking, or our current society is being like, let's be more, but we want more authenticity because we were marketed so much stuff. Said like, oh, go to work, get a job, you'll get, you'll get the gold watch when you retire, and all this, and we're realizing, yeah, that reality doesn't exist anymore. So was it just all a lie, or was it incorrect information? So now we want authentic information. How true is this?
So now you're talking about one of the things that I can rabbit hole on forever, relics of the Victorian age. And that's exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about that high polish. It's the aristocracy bleeding down, and the aristocracy is gone. So why are we still following their rules? Or rather, theoretically, they're gone.
Les Brown says that the gold watch days are gone.
I mean, yeah, that's another way of putting it. Anybody else?
I'll just put this out here. More gold to come, but it won't necessarily be gold watches.
You always come back with something clever and insightful. Well, Fred, I know we're our 40 minutes off, but it sounds like our conversation is winding down today. Do we want to give everybody their time back?
I would say, yeah, but anybody got any last comments they'd like to say to people? Well, that sounds like a no. So
I'd say let's go with everybody's is like, we can round off the half hour or 10 minutes or whatever by going like, what's everyone's goal for the year? I mean, it's a new quarter for those that believe that April 1st is the new year. It's a new year, and always businesses, being accountability partners. It's like, well, what's your goal for this month or for this year for each person? Because like, I'll sound off on mine. It's like, mine's to have 2 new major leaders in my business by the end of the month.
Anybody else want to chime in? Elizabeth?
Oh gosh, increase my social media presence authentically. Love doing podcasts. Love doing podcasts that are just organic. Love doing videos, doing a one take, and you get what you get, you get what you get. And just serving more people. Also working on potentially a group coaching program. So lots of things in the and working on my doctorate as well. So I have a lot of fish that I'm frying right now.
Excellent. Joel, what about you? There we go.
I have quite a few things coming up. Basically launching, hopefully my main business's website, and getting ready for coming back to the US in July, and the launch of my company in the state of Florida as a separate entity to the UK one, and then coming over permanently.
Excellent. Don, what about you? As Don gets unmuted.
Okay, now I'm there. Just doing it on my phone was like different than the computer, so finding that unmute button. Man, I have a lot of things I'm looking forward to in the next like 5 months because from April to August is our pretty much prep time for, don't throw any pies or anything, guys, holiday time. We do, prep everything, like, get our team ready, get them, in that comfortable stage where they're reaching out for more people and getting them comfortable with what they're doing so that when the rush of the holiday comes, which for us, it does start August, September, October, we're talking holiday time. So that is kind of what my next quarter will be, is building, supporting, and me personally, I do want to look more into podcasting for myself. That's something in the marketing digitally that I have not touched upon, and I think it would be kind of fun. So any of those people out there in our marketing group that have pointers for me, send them my way. I'd love to see what I can do in the podcast field.
Let's get you ready to work with PHred. Let's have a conversation.
Sounds fun.
And the impressive part of that was Deanna got that out before I did. Go, Deanna! Let's see. We lost. All right. So, Anita, you get the last word before Deanna's last word.
So what are my goals, or what's the question?
Yeah, what's your goals for the next quarter?
Oh, for the next quarter, I really would like to find some, I really would like to have some business builders with me to build my business and find some more customers and help them with their health, and also if they want to start a business, help them with their wealth and be a coach for them.
All right. Deanna, so I'll let you pop that, but then Anita actually brought up a really good question there in her goals, which is how do people go about finding more business or having more business find them? So first, Deanna, what's your goals for the next quarter?
Well, mine are super, super boring. I have to hire 2 more employees, and I have to get the funding to start the MPO that's going to back my radio show.
Okay. Understand that. So then how do you find clients or have people find you? We'll start with you.
My favorite way is Facebook groups. Just having conversations with people.
Okay.
And I only do that for like an hour a day.
Okay. All right. Who wants to chime in next on how they find, or how do they have people find them, or they find new clients? Anybody else want to jump in?
I'll jump in.
All right. For everybody that did not immediately unmute, we need to have a conversation.
I was going to say, not all at once now.
Go ahead, Dawn.
I really do build relationships daily, whether it is in a restaurant that we're dining at, or whether it's on Facebook, or whether I'm at a networking group. It doesn't matter. Wherever I'm at, wherever people see me, wherever I am present, whether it's virtually or in person, I am looking at ways that they may benefit from my service or my need, or a way I can benefit their need in whatever way. There's so many things to look at that is a daily activity in my book.
Okay. Mark, you had popped on before, so take it away.
Easiest way for people to get a hold of me is just through cell phone, whether text or call, and that's 773.
You are not paying attention.
I'm on ADHD brain. It was like, how can people get a hold of me was the last thing I heard.
Calling you on that.
So, hang on. But
So
it was like, everyone knows how to get a hold of me.
no, the question is the question isn't how do people get a hold of you. The question is how do you find new clients?
Facebook and LinkedIn, usually looking for people's posts on who's looking to make extra money.
Interesting. Anybody else?
I do a lot of connections on LinkedIn. A lot of my clients are referrals from past clients. I do a lot of referrals with other people, and kind of networking. Networking is my absolute joy. But I agree with Mark too. If you're on social media, Facebook, and you see that someone has a need, don't be afraid to reach out to them. You may or may not be the solution. If you're not, guide them to somebody who is.
Joel, did you want to pop in here?
My main source of where I find people who may need my assistance and my services is LinkedIn most of the time.
Okay. Deanna, you said Facebook group, right?
It sounds like the overwhelming majority are leaning towards social media these days.
Okay. I find it interesting that no one said email marketing or cold calling, or amazingly enough, even everybody who's touched on the idea of watching Facebook or LinkedIn. No one said anything about using any AI tools to monitor things. I mean, there are AI tools out there that'll let you monitor Facebook or Reddit or LinkedIn. And some of them actually auto respond for that. And so I find it interesting that nobody went to any of the AI tools to drive client base.
The Jam's not here, that's why. But for everyone who's looking into doing social media marketing, I wonder how we might be able to go about doing that. If only there was someone we could can talk to that was like a social media mastermind.
Not me. Oh wait, yeah, he spoke about me. Anyway, no, I can tell you what Jam does though. His main way of getting leads, his favorite way is ads. He loves building them and he gets a phenomenal response from them, but he does use AI tools to build them.
And
I find that would be interesting if we had some type of class or lesson or session on how we could use some AI tools to benefit our business.
Then I will poke him.
Thank you.
All right. Well, everybody, it's been so great having y'all. This has been another, run of Lunch with Lynn, sans Lynn, hopefully back next week. Everybody have a blessed and glorious rest of your week, and I'll see y'all on the 10th.
We'll be back next week again with another episode of Lunch with Lynn. Hopefully Lynn's back, and we wish the best for she and her family as they deal with some medical issues. Come back in. If you'd like to be a PHred show host, then fill out the form on PHred.com. This has been Lunch with Lynn.